Welcome to our YouTube channel where we document our life aboard a 32-foot sailboat, currently on its maiden voyage from Halifax, Nova Scotia to the Caribbean. In this episode, we sail from Matapoisett to Point Judith, from Point Judith to Port Jefferson, where we wait out some strong winds, the strongest we have yet, and we really discuss why the heck we're putting ourselves through this. So if you're into sailing videos or life on the water, hit that subscribe button. And thanks for your support. We left Matapoisett without a lick of wind, but a beautiful sunrise. Holy, look at that sunrise. I constantly have a drip on my nose, like all the time. We are leaving Matapoisett, which was a beautiful anchorage. Shortly after 6, hopefully gonna make it to Point Judith. I like to know which direction of the wind. If it's a north wind, then that'll be good. We'll be protected in there. Yeah, so that's about 40 nautical miles. Hopefully we make that today, and hopefully we get good winds, and it's just a nice, sunny, relaxing day, like the second half of yesterday. Oh, look at the rainbow. I don't know if we're gonna get green one. Might be over there. Well, like, actually look at the whole horizon. I don't know if it's off. We haven't sailed in fog yet. We're just enjoying our time on the bow.
It is quite nice.
Quite nice to have an auto helm. Otherwise, we'd both be in the cockpit taking turns every hour. And that would be so boring right now. No, because before we'd be looking for lobster traps, so at least it gave us purpose. But there really isn't much lobster traps anymore, so we'd just be there like, boring. As we neared Point Judith, the wind picked up and we found ourselves pounding into the waves. But with our anchorage close by, we didn't mind. Whoa! That was a big one! Our friend Tom had told us that Point Judith was an easy in and out, though not very well protected unless the wind was coming from the north. The harbor is shaped like a triangle surrounded by a break wall that has been worn down in places by relentless waves. I had read a review on Navionics about someone who ran aground while anchored in front of the beach and ended up sinking their boat. So even though the holding seemed fine, I didn't sleep much. To make matters worse, fishing boats were constantly motoring through and heading up the channel, making it a rather rolly anchorage. What are you doing with that? Oh.
Stovetop soup. Because my life sucks. No, it's pretty good.
Lisa and Joe gave us his lemon juice for our boat from the ICW. But we made lemonade with it. And now my belly hurts.
What's the lemon juice for again? Scaring away.
No, it's for
Cleaning.
mustache, like the
Ah, right.
hairy stuff we got on the boat. We left Point Judith at 20 after 6. Our alarm went off as soon as we started getting ready to go for the anchor. I don't know if we drug or not, but where we were was pretty close to the beach, so we were anchored in sand, and when Seth hauled the anchor up, he said it was really easy. The wind seems pretty good. It's 12 knots. We got almost full sail. Like the jib's not furled all the way out, but full main. The sun just rose.
It's a nice morning, a little bit chilly, but it's supposed to warm up to like 15 degrees today, so.
We are enjoying the sail, although we're still beating into the waves. This tug here is towing this. By 8:30, we were reefing the main as the wind picked up. There was a lot of fishing trawlers around with their big nets stretched out behind them. We were struggling with the amount of wind we were getting. 30-knot gusts with sustained 26 knots of true wind speed, close hauled. For whatever reason, we turned downwind to put in the second reef, which was the opposite way we were heading, and it was completely uncontrolled, and Seth and I were screaming and swearing at each other and at our current state of affairs. It all felt very panicked, but dolphins met up with us later, probably to tell us we'd be okay. And we were. After that episode, we had found some good wind in the protection of Fisher Island, and we let our sails out and we turned off the engine. We are in the lee of Fisher Island and things have calmed down. Feel much more manageable now. Less chaotic. The wind has also died down. It was calling for 19-knot gusts today. Went up to 30, the most we've ever experienced. It was just too much. So glad glad it's quieting down. The currents in there are very strong, and luckily they were in our favor, so we made really good speed. But eventually we were faced with tidal streams and a lot of chop, so it wasn't much of a break that we were hoping for. We quickly turned off the auto helm and started up the engine for more control. Turn the engine on? I think we can sail through it.
No speed.
Oh! 5.9. Help! At least it's not against us.
Yeah. You're just bouncing around here. Going through the horse races. We just had like a brief moment of rest after getting the shit beat out of us this morning. And this happens. But we should be through it in a little bit, I think. Another big one. I locked the handle again because somebody left it unlocked. After this, we should ask Tom if he remembers.
Why does that go off at the worst possible time? It waits for it to be shitty and then it beeps.
Yeah.
It's like, dude. Chop City out here. All this current. Chop City. Upon entering the narrow channel for Old Saybrook, there was absolutely no channel markers, even though on our chart plotter, it was showing them. There are no markers at all, but on Navionics it says that there are, so... It was a bit scary, which led me to purchase towing insurance that night with Boat US. We read that there are free mooring balls in North Cove, the one with the yellow streamers, but when we arrived there was no mooring balls in sight, and we saw the barge with the tractor pulling them out. At least it gave us plenty of room to anchor. But also on that barge was all the channel markers. Great timing for us. We are leaving Old Saybrook this morning. It's 7:20. We wanted to time our departure so that we're not getting full current on our heads when we leave. There's going to be no wind today. It should be pretty calm. I think that's a big log in the water or something.
It is too.
Obviously there would be a log.
We have to go right through it.
I know. Bunch of little pipers on it. Today we will head to Port Jefferson and wait out some bad weather there that's coming early this morning and ending Friday. Well, the worst of it. It's going to be like 43 knots of wind where we are going, which kind of sucks. If we made it a little further west, then we would not get so much of it. We would just have to suffer. camera. Huh? Ready?
Yeah. Gross cucumbers.
Oh, wait. Ah!
Oh, Bob.
Ready?
Yeah.
Now!
Got some distance.
Did you see that fly that just fell in my face?
No. You got a kayak.
As we approached the Port Jefferson Inlet, we decided on the anchorage on the south end of the harbor. Normally covered with mooring balls, this time of year that wasn't an issue as they had removed them all. Our anchor grabbed quick and we hopped inside for a warm meal.
Tasty. I wish there was more chicken in it.
What I thought would be a good sleep last night wasn't a good sleep. I had to wear my noise-canceling headphones and the boat was teeter-tottering. And now the wind is picking up and the waves are gonna pick up. They've already picked up. I took a gravel this morning and I don't feel well. And Seth doesn't want to move to a more protected area because he's lazy. And he said I have to do the dishes and make us breakfast in order to move.
Well, don't put that.
I am, because it's the truth. So it's picking up to 37 knots later. It's only 25 right now. Should be ashamed. Serious. We have changed places like 4 hours ago, and this was a much better call because there is way less swell. Seems more wind, but the wind was supposed to pick up anyway. It's pretty nuts out. We haven't drug anchor though. I've been tracking it. Kind of close to this spot. Yeah, and the wind is coming this way. Seth and I are talking about the realities of being on the boat. I mean, it's like super windy tonight and crappy out, and we're just like, eh. Seth says he's looking forward to living in a cottage and foraging for mushrooms. And then he goes, I don't think I need to travel the world in the boat. And I meant rather just take a plane. This trip is good and all, but I'm just have to repeat what he said because he won't do it.
Too awkward.
No, it's not. Just say what you feel. I haven't left the boat in 6 days. Seth did 2 days ago. We're starving. I mean, there's food. What we have is sweet potatoes, bread, peanut butter, spaghetti, carbs. And then Seth is like, well, at least we're not working. But our job's really that bad.
Grand scheme of things, not really.
This trip is a whole experience, and I'm really grateful to do it.
Yeah, right now I just feel discouraged from all the wind and the lack of sleep over the last couple of years.
And
also not having any food.
And not going to shore, like, 'cause you can't leave the boat when it's really windy. I mean, could the wind get any worse?
Port Jefferson's.
That's a big gust.
Port Jefferson's also an extremely expensive place in New York.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe a lot of New York's like that, like on the coast or something. Because my aunt found an article that said they're 52% more expensive than the national average, and 21% more expensive than the rest of New York's cities. So I think it's just gonna be expensive here. I don't like the wind at night. Like I find it hard to believe that people can do this for years, honestly, because yeah, just about now I want to go home. All I know is that the longer we do this, it just means more weather that we have to avoid, similar to now. Like I would love this if the weather just was always chill and we didn't have to like deal with that. I hate having to plan around weather. Not even plan, but just like you're like prisoner of the boat, and it's kind of scary, and you don't know if your anchor's gonna hold, and you're just worrying all the time. Thanks, bub.
So yeah, we're feeling pretty discouraged. It's been 2 months or so, and I just feel like we're feeling super negative right now.
For me, we're just sailing through the winter in Nova Scotia and dealing with crap weather.
Yeah, it makes sense why people leave earlier in the summer. Is it worth trying to dodge hurricanes? I don't know. If we were better sailors, then this would probably be...
Here, come on, over here.
It'd probably be sort of a quicker overall trip for us, and probably more comfortable too.
Shadow.
But like overall, we're still doing what we want to
right
do.
in the shot.
I know. I just don't care.
It came more north because we're in a northwest wind. It's, believe it or not, more protected here, at least from the swell. So now we're here just dealing with this wind today, tonight, last night, and to all day tomorrow. Come on, this friggin' sucks.
Yeah, and we're kind of like cooped up onto the boat too because we don't want to leave the boat, and it's also just a big hassle to throw the motor onto the dinghy and then try to dinghy through all the chop and stuff.
Yeah, and it's way too far from here. Maybe this isn't something we keep doing. It's hard to say that though. I know a lot of people go through this mixed emotion bag like us. It's like, how do people carry on? Right now, it sucks. Even when we're sailing some days and it's like super windy and out of control, it's like, what? Could we just not? Like, why has it gotta be like this? And in those days, I just want to give up. I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to be in a house with a shower and a bed and a TV, relaxing. We're learning a lot. We're building character. Like, we're pushing through it, and all that are skills on their own. Yeah, we start to just think of like having jobs, Seth was saying.
Yeah, having a job's not bad.
Yeah,
no,
is it that bad?
8 hours a day.
Who cares? Yeah, you go home, you get to sleep.
Generally, yeah.
You got a routine.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been living on the boat in the winter in Halifax, and there's storms in the winter where you're like, it would sound like this outside, except for you're squeaking into a dock.
Yeah.
And then I used to not sleep then, which is pretty funny because I used to feel unsafe. But now, our life is being held on by a piece of rope this big.
Not even that big.
Yeah, pulling with gusts just forced, like trying to rip it off. So
that's not to say this whole trip's been like miserable or whatever. We're just going through
a low point,
a down point right now. And yeah, I just want to continue on with the journey, get to Port Washington, and keep up the progress too. But I am still looking forward to the rest of the journey and hopefully finding some surf.
At this moment, I am not, but I will be on a sunny day in our t-shirts and a really nice day of sailing. Our limits have been pushed. Like, they've been pushed.
They've been pushed hard.
It's like every day, it's testing us. It's not true, but that's how it feels. Too frequent are the days that test us. Hey, bub. That's it, we're very discouraged. Just wanting to be somewhere safe and warm and comfortable and familiar. Oh. I think it's because he's got the door open, but there's like, in the headphones, it's doing this whoop, 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 whoop when the wind really gusts. It's like air's getting it somehow. The smallest setting on these headphones are still too big for my head. Little brain. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and stay tuned for next week's video as we make our way further south.